Hello, online crew. Welcome to today's live where we are going to explore some of the things that you need to keep top of mind when it comes to dealing with objections. So this is a biggie in particularly our industry. We get hit with a lot of things that people find as reasons that they wouldn't want to join this kind of industry. So there's lots of excuses, lots of reasons that people may not think they can be in an industry of ours. And when I say industry of ours, I'm talking about a home-based business industry, like direct selling. You're an entrepreneur, you've got a business from home, network marketing type model. This is what I'm talking about. This is one of the most important skills that you need to have when you are talking to people, either in person or in Messenger, regarding dealing with people's concerns, objections, fears. Most people are driven by fear their entire lives. That's why we're not all millionaires and having amazing, successful lives, because most people are driven by fear. People are fearful of being in this, kind of industry. People are fearful of having to talk to their family and friends. People are fearful of coming up with money to start a business like this, although it's the most smallest investment you can make in being in this industry versus sort of like a retail bricks and mortar type business. How many people do you know, guys, that invest tens of thousands, if not you yourself have invested in a business in the past only for it to fold 6 months, 12 months, 18 months later? It's really, really sad. I find in my local community that I live in, the town that I live in, and we've got, what you call the traditional main street, the main sort of hub of the town down here, and you see something new pop up and it's like, oh, that's really cool for the town. And then 6 months, 8 months later, it's gone, because you just know, oh, how's that going to work in winter down here? Like, I live in a coastal town that swells massively in summer. It's the coolest place to be in summer, but in winter, everyone disappears. No one comes down here because it's too cold. And you see these businesses pop up and you know how much they would have invested in the signage, the stock, the staff, everything it takes to put a business together, and then they're not there. So there's lots of people that do that, and that's okay. And yet people look at our industry and they can spend a few $100, maybe less than that, to get in, and they're all like fearful. And it's like, oh my gosh. But how you deal with that as a person is critically important in how the conversation goes and closing the sale. So I started this conversation yesterday with you guys regarding how do you effectively close sales. Today, if you've missed that, go back to yesterday's live, because it's really important. If you don't know how to close sales and you don't know how to handle objections, you're going to have a really hard time in this industry. Whether you do Facebook advertising and you get leads that way, you're still going to have to talk to people. Or whether you mingle through social media, you're going out to the cold market, Facebook friending people, you're still in Messenger. Like, whether it's the speech, like the what am I trying to say? No, there's the written word or the speaking word. How do you explain that, guys? Whether you're speaking to somebody in a conversation, sort of like the traditional way, or whether you're using words through Messenger or something like that, you still have to know how to handle people. Now, what you do, let alone what you say, is critically important. And I'm going to give you, on this video alone, I'm going to give you eight things to think about regarding dealing with objections. So I hope you're listening. This is an important video, and I'm going to give you a snapshot of what I'm going to be going into in depth next week in a boot camp in the coaching community regarding closing sales. Dealing with objections is an element of closing sales. So if you would like to know more about this, this is just a skill that you guys should never overlook. If you're in this industry, you know, you're an entrepreneur, home-based business owner, direct seller, you know, etc. This is a skill you need to learn. Otherwise, you are just going to struggle. You're going to beat your head against a brick wall because you don't know how to turn people around from their objections. So I would encourage, if you are not already in our coaching community, the online crew coaching community, that you have a look at it from the link above. And join us next week in the boot camp. So hold that thought. I'll get back to that in a second. Just a few things that are coming up that I want to let you guys know. Again, amazing. Congratulations to all our video challenges that finished in the last day or so. The last free 21-day online crew video challenge. Yes, there will be another one. I will announce that next week though. So stay tuned to my first video next week where I'll announce the top 15 of that. Just an amazing group. Well done, all of you. Next week, from the 14th of September to the 30th of September, we start our Acts of Kind movements. It's free to participate. You do something kind. Just do something nice for somebody, guys, and you could win some pretty cool prizes. All you need to do is be a member of my free group, which is called Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. If you can't find it on the big wide world of the web, just go to my website, helenmartinonline.com, and there's a link to the group right there. So get yourself into the free group and go to Unit 10. No, VIPs, help me out here. Is it VIP? Is it Unit 10? I think it's Unit 10. I'm not sure why that just escaped me. But go to Unit 10. Just clarify that for me in the chat. The details. So you go and do something nice for somebody. You put it on the Google Doc that we've got, when you did it, what you did, what was the reaction, and your name will go into the draw, and you have to go live into the group. So it's a good thing for you guys. It's a safe place, guys. So some of you that have never gone live before, it's a really safe place to go and do that. Just go live and explain what you did, okay? All the details are in Unit 10. And you could win lifetime membership to my coaching community where there is thousands of dollars worth of training in there and a $100 Amazon voucher, or a month in my community with a $100 Amazon voucher, or a month in my community and a $50 Amazon voucher. So just for being nice for 2.5 weeks, you can do it once, or you can do it as many times as you like. The more times you do it, the more entries that you'll get into it, the more chances you've got to win. So I would highly encourage you, especially those of you that have just finished the video challenge, join us on that. You know what it's like, because one of the days you did a random act of kindness. So that's all we're doing. You only have to do it once, but do it more times if you want to, more entries into the draw, okay? I'm just trying to spread some kindness and encouraging you to do it. I'm putting my hand in my wallet, in my pocket, to encourage you to spread some kindness. That's all this is. Not asking for anything in return, just giving you the opportunity to spread some kindness, okay? Next week, if you want to join us in the Closing Sales Bootcamp, click the link above in the description to join our coaching community. A side note, this is not on this page, but on my personal profile, if any of you struggle to drink water like I do, most of my headaches are actually caused by dehydration, because I get really busy. I do lives like this, I do trainings, and I talk and I talk and I talk and I talk, and I forget to drink water. And that's one of my main issues with getting my headaches, is dehydration. So there's a group of us getting together, and we're doing a 7-day challenge to drink a minimum 2 liters of water, hopefully 3 every day for the 7 days from the 14th to the 21st of September. So that's sitting on my personal profile. If you want to go and check that out, there's a link to the group. It's just free. We're giving out some prizes. We're just trying to encourage each other to drink more water. So go and check that out. And I did want to let you guys know, those of you that need to dive deeper into your branding, how you brand yourself on social media, the next round of my branding course starts on the 21st of this month. Okay, so that's also on my website, helenmartinonline.com. Okay, so let's move on. Let's just say quick hellos. We've got Crystal here. We've got Christine. We've got Hero. We've got Olive here. Hello, guys. We've got Beth. Hello, Megan. Hello, Susan. Tony is here as well. We've got Edith on. Great to see you. Donna's here as well. Hello, Gloria. Michelle. Hey, Helen, Henry, Harley, boys. You're all awesome. She's got everyone in there. If you're not aware, this is Henry. Sorry, Harley was just walking around me. Harley's my dog. This is Henry here. Hello, Heather. How are you? The spoken word, Michelle. Yes. Hi, Diane. Good to see you on. Can't wait for the boot camp. We need to learn to communicate with people in ways that they can understand. Absolutely. Thank you, Susan, Unit 10, for the Acts of Kindness movement in the free group. Thank you, guys, for chiming in there. Hello, Susan. Great to see you on. Water, water, water. 2 liters already today, and it's not over yet. We're doing far better than I am. Hello, Judy and Bob. Good to see you on. So I hope you've got your pens ready. This is important. I'm going to give you 8 things that you need to consider for you. Okay, regarding with dealing with objections. If you've got other people that you work with in the industry in your teams, this is one of those videos that I would tag them in or share or something like that, because this is just one of those skills that if you don't have it, you're just gonna struggle. I will add, actually, I do apologize. I haven't introduced myself. If anyone is new here to this community, I'm Helen Martin, and I'm your captain, which just means that I'm here of service. I'm the captain of this crew here. We have an amazing crew of entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, direct sellers, those building a business from home, learning to, use modern social media to build their business. I am in the industry with you. I'm in a health and wellness e-commerce business myself. So I know your struggles. I know things like dealing with objections, because I deal with them all the time. So I'm right there with you with learning, to navigate the online world of social media, but it has served me well. And this is why I'm here to champion, these skills so you can build a thriving business. Okay. Number 1, these are all important, these 8 things, but number 1, if you don't have this, you are going to really, really struggle. You need to have posture. So let me ask you, how do you feel about the industry that you're in? Do you still cringe in this industry? Do you still have doubts, about the industry, about the business model that you are involved with? So just be real with yourself with that one, guys. It's really, really important. Even if you have your doubts yourself because you haven't been successful yet, that's mainly where the doubt comes from, is that you haven't been successful yet. You haven't got to the rank you want to. You haven't had the amount of customers or people join you in your team that you would, really like to. So that causes doubt. That doubt cannot be shown to other people. You need to have immense posture in the industry that you're in, the business that you're in dealing with somebody that's got an objection. If you waver in any capacity, if you hesitate in any form when you're dealing with somebody's objection and you don't have posture in what you're saying, how you come across in your messages, in your language, in your body language, game over, guys. When people get a slight bit of hint that you're not convincing in your business, they are out of there. So in what you say, how you deliver a message in the written form or words, you must have posture. Learn to have posture. Even, I'm not a big fan of the term fake it till you make it, but you've got to have posture with the business that you're in. So, do you really believe in the business that you're in? Do you really believe in the company? Do you really believe in the products? Like, if that's unwavering for you, you should stand in your own 2 feet and have that posture. If you've got a lot of doubts, and you've been in your business for a long time and you're still not successful, you may need to ask yourself some questions, but that's your journey to sort of have. Okay. But you don't want to stay in a business for years and years and years and still not be successful. Okay, it's a different story, okay? But have posture. Think about it for yourself with people that, you look at speakers or the people you listen to, the people you follow online. You're probably following them because they've got some confidence. Would that be fair to say? They're bold in some capacity. They've got conviction and passion in what they do. Hopefully that comes across to you in what I do. It doesn't mean I'm an extrovert. It doesn't mean I've got this amazing bubbly personality. Social media is amazing for introverts. It's amazing how many people that you watch online that are self-confessed introverts. That's why social media is amazing for people in this industry. So you can have posture and confidence and love what you do, but still be an introvert. So if you're an introvert and you're saying, oh, I'm not bold or I don't have posture or anything like that, crap. Social media allows you, as long as you believe in what you're doing, to have posture. So if you know you lack confidence, work on it. But the words that you say and how you deal with messages, you must carry off yourself as having posture in what you're doing. Otherwise, somebody that presents an objection to you, they're all over it. In what I mean by that is you're not, you don't have posture otherwise. So they're gone. Okay, so posture is really, really important. Okay, so when you are, and this will become clear in a minute when I give you a couple of examples, but when you're speaking to somebody, that'll come across in what you say, the words that you say. This is what I'm teaching you. This is what we're going to dive deeper into next week in the boot camp as well. The words that come out of your mouth or what you write in Messenger will dictate whether you've got posture or not. So do you know how to execute that? Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you must relatability to your prospect. Relate to their story, relate to their objection, relate to where they're at, relate to whatever concern it is that they've got. Relatability, this will make sense when I give you an example shortly. Relatability to your prospect is also really critical. Number three, just accept the fact that this day and age, people do need multiple exposures. So you send one message and you get a no, or you put some kind of post on social media and no one grabs. You send a direct message to somebody in Messenger asking them if they'd be open to your business and you don't get the result that you want, or somebody doesn't answer you. Please be very realistic in that multiple exposures is increasing. You might have been able to have a conversation with somebody 5 years ago and they would make a decision on the spot. There wasn't as much choice. People couldn't look around as much. They didn't have phones in their pockets as much as they do now. People weren't glued to social media like they are now. People are exposed to choice all around them. They don't need to make a decision. You want them to make a decision, but they don't need to make a decision. So just accept as part of the journey and deal with objections that somebody may need multiple exposures to you and what you're doing and your journey. Share your journey on social media. People are always watching. Don't just rely on one post. Oh, I've got this one awesome post and I'm going to see who chimes in with that post. You've got to do multiple posts over a period of time and somebody's watching, but then somebody eventually might come back and go, okay, you've piqued my interest. What are you doing? So it's a journey for people. So just remember with objections, don't take it personally because people do need multiple exposures, and that is getting worse. The more technology is connected to us, we have phones pretty much connected to us all the time. People have got watches. Everything happens on their Apple Watch. Like, we are moving in a world where people have got choice and, they can be skeptical. So just accept, don't take objections personally, guys. You know how it moves. We do need to, take people on a journey and give them multiple exposures. So 1, 2, 3. Number 4, please don't exaggerate. People see through things like, oh, it's just the best company. We've got the most amazing products. We're the only one in the world that sources this ingredient from this country and it does this and all the rest of it. It's just the best thing ever. Like, don't exaggerate when you're dealing with objections because it just seems like a sales pitch. It's not genuine. It's not relatable to the person. It's not showing empathy. You're making it worse for yourself when you go into the exaggerated sentences about how wonderful your company is. Everybody thinks they've got the best comp plan. Everybody thinks they've got the best products. Everybody thinks they've got the best marketing platform. Everybody thinks they've got the best mentors. Everybody thinks they've got the best community. So when you go on about, we've got the most amazing community, except for here, we do have the most amazing community. If you're new to this community, make yourself known so we can give you some love. But you know what I mean? Like, the combination of all of that, it's like, oh, here's the sales pitch. It's just amazing, amazing, amazing. It's like, that doesn't, think of that for yourself. When somebody's doing that to you, does that convince you to buy? Does that close the sale? when somebody's exaggerating about how wonderful something is, that's not what's going to close the sale. And it's not a good way to deal with objections. Okay, so don't exaggerate. I should have numbered these. I've got dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Understand that there's 2 main objections in this industry. So one of those objections generally comes from limiting beliefs. When you understand this, you can tackle it. So there's 2 main objections. So one of them is limiting beliefs from the individual, and the other main one is the industry itself. It's just the industry itself. It's making money. It could be making money online. It could be the network marketing profession. Could be the direct sales, industry. Like, people have limiting beliefs around their own ability. So that comes with objections like throw out your objections, guys. Give them to me that you get all the time, and I'll see if I can work that into an example. But limiting beliefs are things like, I don't think I can do that. I don't want to hassle my family and friends. I don't have enough money. I don't know if I can do that. Like, it's limiting beliefs on the individual. So listen to what people are telling you. If somebody says, oh, is that network marketing? That's the other main category. So there's limiting beliefs, and it usually is coming down to the individual themselves. They can't see themselves doing what you're doing for whatever reason. So it's not necessarily about the company or the products or whatever. They just can't see themselves doing it because they've got their own limiting belief. So listen to what your person is telling you, and it's like, oh, that's a limiting belief. Okay, now I know what to tackle. Okay, the network marketing one, we had a brief discussion about this yesterday. Go back to yesterday's video if you did miss it. It's important with starting the conversation regarding closing sales. But somebody might say, oh, is that network marketing thing? Is that a pyramid scheme thing? So it's an objection to the industry itself. Okay, and I'll run through an example with that to make that crystal clear in a moment. Okay, so hold that thought. So just understand there's 2 main tracks of objections. It's somebody's own individual limiting belief, or it's something to do with the industry itself. Like, they just don't see themselves doing it. They don't like it. They've got objections around it. They've got an experience with it. I've done that before. Or my cousin's auntie's son's grandson did that and it didn't work out well. So they've got their story around the industry. You know what I'm talking about, guys? So when you understand these things, you've got more of an opportunity to work people through these objections, okay? The next one, find the real objection. There's an art to this too. We'll go deeper in this next week in the boot camp. But often what people are telling you are not the real reason. It's not the real objection. And unless you dig deeper and ask the right questions, you're not going to know what the real objection is. So somebody might be telling you something, but it's actually the industry that they're just trying to be polite and saying to you, oh, I can't afford it. But you manage that. And when you manage that, and you can say, so is there any other thing that would stop you in joining our business? So you've tackled one. When you say that, is there any other, issues that you've got that would stop you joining us in our business? That's when you'll find out probably the real objection. Unless you go there, they'll still keep feeding you surface stuff because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But you've got to dive deeper to get to the real objection so you can tackle it, so you can close the sale. Okay, we'll go deeper in that sort of next week. But you've got to find out the real objection, because sometimes they don't even tell you up front the real objection. Okay, so number 7, do not make the person wrong. Whatever their objection is, do not argue with them. Do not, don't try to be defensive around that. You just got to change their mindset. Hold that thought. I'll give you an example in a second. And the last one is have absolute empathy with whatever their objection is. So this is where we started the conversation yesterday regarding the feel, felt, found. All of you in this industry should be using that concept, feel, felt, found. So we talked about that a little bit yesterday. So I'll just, if you weren't on the live yesterday, go back and watch the replay. If not, here's a quick snapshot. I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way too. And we go into our story, but here's what I found. So that's when all these other things you've got to have in check first. So you want to have posture. You want to understand where their objection is coming from and what track is that. Is it a limiting belief or is it the industry? So, having relatability, having empathy, like all these things, finding the real objection, all those things you need to have in check. Then you can be armed with going into sort of feel, felt, found. Okay. So the objections that you'll kind of get is, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time to do a business on the side. I'm so busy doing all my other things. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to bug my family and friends. Like, you've heard them all before, I'm sure. So anything that somebody throws in you, you can use that strategy of feel, felt, found. Like, I completely understand how you feel. I felt the same way too. But what I found was, sort of XYZ. We want to do that for a couple of reasons, is that we actually agree and we have an understanding and we have a level of empathy in what the person is actually thinking. And we're not going on the defensive. Like, some people are taught strategies like somebody says, I don't have enough money. And somebody might say, well, how's that working out for you? How long do you want to be in that situation? So said the right way, you can work that into the conversation, but that's quite defensive, isn't it, when I say that? So how's that working out for you? How long do you want to not have money? I'm kind of being really defensive with the person rather than saying something like, I really appreciate where you're coming from, because, I felt the same way too. But what I found is, so something I could say, I don't know if you could say that, but what I found in this company when I got into, a bit more detail, is there's ways that you can actually get your product for free. So if you do some certain things, you can actually get your product for free so you can keep your costs way down. So if I shared with you, how you could actually do that, would that help you, with the money side of it? And normally people would say yes. So you diffuse it, but you agree with them. The other really good thing to do with saying, I understand how you feel, like I appreciate where you're coming from, because, I found the same way. I found the same thing, but instead of focusing on them and their objection, here's the kicker. Turn it around back to you and tell a story. So you're not focusing on them, you're not focusing their objection, but you're changing their mindset in their objection by the story that you tell. So example, so it might be, the money one. So I completely appreciate that comment, because I actually, I felt the same way too. So I do understand. But what I found for myself, what I became to realize for myself, is that I was just so over not being able to pay the bills at the end of the month. When I really looked into the future and my budgeting, I realized that unless I was able to bring some extra money in, this was not going to change in a hurry. So I just decided for myself that I didn't want to stay in this situation. I don't want to struggle when I go to the grocery store with the kids and they ask for something and I legitimately can't buy it for them. I don't want to be in that position anymore. So for me, I looked into the options of how I could get into the business and get my products for free, or however, like that might not be something that you could say depending on your business model, but you work a way around, or it could be, I just had to find the money because I just needed to change things. Unless I change things now, I'm going to be stuck in the same situation. And I'm just so over it. I want more for my life. I want more for my kids. I want more for my family. So I just bit the bullet and I asked somebody for the money, and I'm going to pay them back, but I just had to make it happen. So you go into what you did, you go into a solution that you may have done. If it's not your solution, share somebody else's solution. But to change their mindset, you don't confront them with their issue, you change the story around to you, and whatever you can share that you did or somebody else did, that you came up with solution, and get them thinking differently. So they're not focusing on their limiting beliefs, they're looking at a solution. So in your story, you offer solutions of something that you did or something that somebody else did. It might not be your struggle, and just say, look, hey, I want to share with you what a friend of mine did that just got into the business. They didn't have any money. Like, they literally didn't have the money in the bank to join up to the business, but they got creative and they sold some stuff on Gumtree. It took them a little bit longer to join the business, but they just did what they could to get the money to come into the business. And I've showed them, what they need to do to be able to afford to stay in the business, whatever, guys. But can you see the theory there, in that you're changing the person's mindset in the objection by not picking on them, not saying that their objection is wrong. It's probably a very valid objection, but giving a solution, but from a story perspective, from something that you've done or something that somebody else has done, that you can get them to, thinking, and then end that off with, if we worked on this together, we could probably find a solution for you to change your, financial situation around. Is that something that you want to do? And you'd be hard pressed if they said no. Like, they're going to agree with you. If you can get the yes, if you can get them to agree with you, then closing the sale. I've spoken about this before here. The way that you set things up, the language that you have with people, the questions that you ask people, if you can get the yes. Like, is that something that you can see for yourself, or is that something that you want to achieve? Do you want to be able to provide for your family a little bit more? Yes. Ask the right questions, guys. Get somebody to agree. Then you're more likely to close the sale. So it's really important in, the way that you tackle it. You don't exaggerate. Like I've said before, one of the 8 points, you just share a story of a solution and get them out of the limiting belief and into thinking of, ways and means that they can, make it happen. Okay, so you're sharing with them, I'm the same. I'm no different to you. I'm the same. I agree with you. I had the same feeling. I had the same thoughts. I had the same objection, those kind of things. Share your pain with them. Make it relatable. Okay, so you're sharing the pain, but you're also sharing a solution and hopefully getting them, to agree with you. Okay, so the limiting belief regarding MLM, I just want to tackle that for a second as well. Generally, a limiting belief with MLM comes from a story of some sort. It could be themselves. They've been in the industry before and it didn't work, or somebody they know has been in the industry and they got hassled. Something like that. There's generally a story behind it. So what I would encourage you to do when somebody brings up an objection regarding MLM is, we discussed this yesterday, so I won't repeat what I said yesterday, but also exploring, you know a little bit about MLM, or you know a little bit about network marketing. What do you know? Find out what the story is. Let them talk. Let them share whatever their objection really is. Unless you ask those right questions, you won't find the right answer to tackle. You're going to be tackling this when their real objection is this. So you can't close the sale when that's the case. So ask somebody, what do you know about MLM? What do you, like I said yesterday, what do you mean regarding that? Have you got an experience around that? Let the person talk. Let them share what their objection really is. So then you can go, this is not actually about MLM. This is about a limiting belief. They've tried it before and they failed. And it's like, okay, so tell me a little bit more about that. Did you get the support that you needed in the industry? Did you get the skills that you needed to sort of do the business? Oh, well, I gave it a go for about a month and then, I just couldn't do it. Now you're figuring out where the objection is. Now you know what to tackle. So you could say something like, so would it be fair to say that you probably didn't get the proper training to be successful in this industry? Well, yeah, that's probably right. They might say, I just don't believe anybody can be successful in this industry. You might say something to like, well, how do you know? With a smile on your face, with, it's better. I would highly encourage any of you, if you're dealing things through Messenger, do voice messenger, even if they don't voice message you back, because one, they don't know how. That's a highly likely, or they just, they just don't want a voice message, but voice message people so you can get this right tonality when you're dealing with objections. So when I would say somebody like, well, how do you know? How do you know you couldn't be successful? You're a bright spark. You got a good shoulders on your head. You've been in business before. If you had the right training and the right system, whatever, how do you know you wouldn't be successful? With a smile on my face. Get somebody thinking and go deeper. Okay, so ask, particularly regarding the MLM one, is what I'm sharing with you here. Ask them to share their experience around that and really find out what the issue is so you can tackle it. If you don't dive deeper into what the story is behind their objection with this industry, you can't tackle it. You're never going to close the sale because you can't actually counteract the objection because you don't know what the objection really is. Does that make sense? So I'm going to leave this with a thought: education and understanding. So 2 thoughts. So we're not going in for the hard sale. You're going in to educate people, find out what their objection is, ask them questions to find out really what the objection is, and then educate them otherwise by sharing a solution from your perspective, not theirs. So your perspective. Like, I totally understand, how you feel. I felt the same way too. But what I found when I really started looking at it, or when I really researched the business, or, whatever it is, and share the story with what you found from your perspective, so they can start seeing themselves in that equation. They can relate to what you're saying, and the focus is off them, that we're not being defensive with them, we're being very empathetic towards them, and we're counteracting in the most possible, polite, education-based way to deal with whatever objection that they've got. Okay, so now your comments are probably old, and an Amway speech I used to hear. What's that, Gloria? So I'll go back to your comments after, because I haven't been keeping an eye on them. So your comments will be related to things that I've said previously. But I hope that's helpful to you in some way, guys. Remember posture with dealing with objections. If somebody said to you, "Oh, is that network marketing?" You can go, "Yeah, it is. What do you know about network marketing?" Posture, guys. If somebody says to you, "Is that network marketing?" and you go, "Well, yeah, it is actually." How different is that to, "Yeah, it is. What do you know about it?" Posture. How you say things, how you carry yourselves off. Well, somebody go, "Oh, okay, they're obviously love the industry," versus, "Oh, okay, it's that kind of industry." Posture, guys. Posturing what you're doing and how you talk to people is very, very powerful. So work on that. But I've got lots more to talk about this in the boot camp next week regarding closing sales. We're going to go through closing sales techniques, taking a conversation to a conversion of a sale, dealing with objections like this, all sorts of sort of closing techniques. So if this is something that you need to dive deeper with, feel free to join us next week. It is next to nothing cost, guys, to maybe increase the skill level for you to actually get somewhere in your business. This is just one of those skills that I think is just, you just have to do it. Let me put it that way. Anyway, I've gone a little bit longer than I normally would, so sorry for keeping you that long, but hopefully you got some value out of some of those tips, and it gets you thinking as to, some of the things that you might want to switch up or try in dealing with objections, because, it'll make or break you, because everyone's got objections. Everyone's got objections. You know this. Time, money, the industry. Don't want to hassle my family and friends. You could say something like, "What makes you think you have to hassle your family and friends?" Counteract it. Ask questions. I could talk for ages. I'll go. But I hope this was useful for you. You're going to come out of this boot camp next week armed with so many more skills than perhaps you have now. So again, the link is above if you want to join us in the coaching community, learn these kind of skills. At the moment, you can still get access to every single boot camp I've ever done. My new website is a lot closer. So as soon as that goes live, you'll only get access to the boot camp that you join that month, not all my other boot camps I've ever done. So you want to join now rather than later if you want to get access to all the training that is in that group. Yeah, awesome stuff. Makes total sense. Very helpful, very helpful. Okay, thanks for your feedback, guys. So I'll get off so you can get off, and I'll see you same time tomorrow. Okay, bye, guys.